Hey guys, it's Destiny, and with the upcoming release of Lynx and Fu Xuan, people may have actually forgotten about our middle sibling of the Landu family, Jeppy. Well, today is Gepard's day, and I'm going to be going over why he's awesome, how to build him, his future value, and much more. I really wanted to talk about Gepard today because, once again, Fu Xuan is coming next week, so people may be thinking about, scrapping their Gepard. But I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't scrap your Gepard. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Let's start off with what Gepard does, for those who are not aware of what his skill kit entails. Gepard is a character who is part of the ice element in the preservation class, and his kit provides so much utility when it comes to fighting enemies and also helping the team. Gepard is able to have a 65 base chance to freeze enemies with a skill, which is awesome for delaying enemies and also taking advantage of freeze when it comes to damage over time teams, especially with a certain dominant Stellaron hunter. Gepard is also able to provide team-wide shields with his ultimate, which, as this video's Gepard saleswoman, I'd say is honestly one of his best abilities. Gepard is able to have a really high uptime with his shields with certain builds, and as a result, your team will have the power of Jeppy on their side and basically become invincible as long as the shields are beefy enough with Gepard's defense. Gepard also has a trace that allows him to increase his likelihood of being hit, and since Gepard will likely have the highest defense on your team, this is highly beneficial as he can become the protector of the team, except of course if you have Ting Yun on the team because she just always gets hit for some reason. But another cool thing about Jeppy is that even if he does go down in battle, he comes right back with his undying will. And also he immediately gets his ultimate back, which means he'll revive himself and be able to instantly provide shields for himself and the team. Overall, Gepard has incredible sustain in what he does, but to ensure Gepard keeps the team alive and well and has really good rotations, let's go over build suggestions. When it comes to building Gepard, I have a few relic and planar suggestions with what we know about him. For relics on Jeppy, I would primarily suggest Knight of Purity Palace and also your shields being able to absorb more damage. Another fun suggestion can also be for team-wide buffs, which is the Messenger set. With the Messenger set, you will lose out on the shield strength from Knight of Purity Palace, but you could also try to obtain 15% defense from substats, and the Messenger set has the benefit of increasing the team's speed with Gepard's ultimate, so this could be pretty useful, especially if your team is on the slower side and could have that extra boost. For planar sets, I would recommend Belobog of the Architects for 15% more defense and additional defense once you reach over 50% effect hit rate. Effect hit rate will be a stat that Gepard will like for being able to freeze enemies with Sevral's guitar case. I genuinely think the weapon in the game is actually Sevral's guitar case. Just gotta put the guitar in there one day. Another suggestion can also be Broken Keel for another way to buff the team's crit damage by 10% if you get enough effect resistance on Jeppy. And the final set I can recommend is the Von Wax set for more energy regeneration and also being advanced at the start of battle. This could be awesome for getting more energy at the start of battle to be able to have your ultimate ready quicker, and also you could possibly freeze an enemy of your choice at the beginning of battle. I would definitely prioritize the first two sets I mentioned personally though, but it ultimately comes down to how you're playing Gepard and how you want to take advantage of his awesome utility. As for main stats on his planar and relic pieces, I would recommend defense body piece, speed boots or defense boots, but a preference for speed, defense sphere, and energy regeneration rope. While Jeppy only has a 100 energy cost, the rope can definitely assist him in getting his ultimate faster, which the goal would either be, of course, a 100% uptime or near a 100% uptime on his shields to protect your team and power through what you're fighting. Keeping that in mind, for substats, I'd highly recommend speed, defense, effect hit rate for freezing, and effect resistance for resisting debuffs. Debuffs are becoming way more prevalent in the game, especially with damage over time and crowd control. And damage over time can definitely do a number to your shield, and possibly being able to resist being inflicted with a bunch of wind shear stacks can definitely be really useful for Gepard's survivability, as well as having his uptime pretty good with the shields and not having to worry about his main HP being touched as much. And of course, the effect resistance is also useful for the Broken Keel set if you decide to go for it. Speed is pretty beneficial on Gepard due to him being able to rotate more in cycles to generate energy for the shield time uptime faster, as I mentioned earlier. Plus, once again, he can also freeze enemies more often as well. Lastly, for light cones, if you are saving your Starlight, I would highly recommend Jeppy's Light Cone Moment of Victory from one of your options to pick up, as it gives you a 24% defense increase, a 24% effect hit rate increase, and another 24% defense increase when he gets hit until the end of his turn, and also increases his likelihood of being hit, which is awesome since Gepard will benefit from being attacked for faster energy regeneration for his ultimate, and also due to his high defenses, he can endure a lot of attacks. I would also recommend these light cones here as well for alternatives, as Lando's choice is great for having a higher chance of being hit and taking less damage from the hits as well. Day 1 of My New Life is also awesome for more defense and increasing the team's damage resistance. You can also consider Texture of Memories as a free-to-play option, since it increases the wearer's effect resistance, and if the wearer has a shield, they take less damage. For Texture of Memories, this is free to play through the Herta shop, so that's just a little thing to keep in mind. I would definitely recommend the first 3 light cones though as a priority due to what they provide for Gepard himself and also possibly the team, depending on which light cone you do decide to pick. Now that we've gone over how to build the best Jeppy in the world, let's go over his team value and most importantly, his future value. When it comes to team building, Jeppy excels at being a sustain, and when properly built, an amazing solo sustain. Gepard with high shield uptime and good rotations and synergies with your team can definitely allow you to clear the most challenging content in the game, and he pairs with majority of characters, with the exception being Blade and Clara since they would want to be targeted instead of Gepard. Gepard pairs though especially well with characters like Zila, Kafka for DOT teams due to Freeze being able to synergize well with damage over time. You can also use Gepard with Don Hung Il, and the list honestly keeps going on. Overall, when it comes to team value and even my own personal usage, Gepard is definitely going to be a staple for a lot of teams having very good survivability and of course sustainability. I've been using Gepard personally, and typically speaking when I do play MOC and I don't accidentally forget, he definitely carries me pretty well from MOC 8 to 10 due to his shields being able to just give so much survivability. As for future value as well, I believe Gepard will be an awesome asset for many updates to come, even if we do get a better preservation class character due to what he provides with his utility for teams. When it comes to Fu Xuan, and let's say we're comparing Fu Xuan and Gepard, because I'm sure many will compare them, Fu Xuan and him operate differently from what we've seen about Fu Xuan so far. So I wouldn't personally say that she completely replaces him. Rather, if you don't have a Gepard, she's a great option to possibly consider. But if you do have Gepard and he's built pretty good, then your sustainability should be a-okay for majority, if not all content within the game, just to have him as your support who keeps the team alive. I definitely have full faith in Gepard being really good for a long time, and I would definitely recommend all people who are considering Jeppy for their 300th pull on the standard or have one laying around on build to possibly consider him for your 300th pull, depending on who you are missing of course. But if you have him on build, definitely build him because he's really good, and I feel like you won't regret it at all. Overall though, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as to why I think Gepard is super cool, super awesome, and not to forget about him once Fu Xuan is here. He doesn't deserve to be forgotten about. He's carried us for so long now, and he's definitely going to be awesome for many updates to come. If you guys enjoyed the video and also like Gepard or any of the siblings of the Landu family, consider leaving a like to support the video and also subscribe to see more style content from me. Let me know though if you guys also want more videos like these where I present an alternative character to possibly the upcoming banner character that you can build that may function or have a similar role in the case of what they may do. For example, Fu Xuan and Gepard are sustains, so just let me know if you guys are interested in stuff like that as well for future banners. Like always though, I hope you all have an awesome day. Peace.